Hi, my name is Mitra Manesh. I'm a servant. I serve through teaching, coaching, consulting, or any other way that I can find to share what I know with those who want to know. And this Lights On podcast is one of those ways. It was created with consciousness and mindful living in heart. So join us as we travel through many roads of learning and transformation together. And if you enjoy our podcast, please give us feedback by rating us 5-star and share us with others if you think they may benefit from it. On behalf of my team, I thank you for your presence. This episode is about mindful aging, but a particular part of mindful aging. This is part of a class I was teaching at UCLA, and the question and discussion was around how do we mindfully age in these times of pandemic. And I had an answer for that, and I hope that you enjoy it. Let's take a listen together. Yes, we are aging in the pandemic. We all are. And I recall, Tom, that you already had taken my class, I think, many years ago. I can't remember how many years ago in a mindful aging class. Am I correct?
That's true. Yeah.
Okay. And so here's aspects of our aging. There was the natural, whatever factors that were there. And now we have another heavy factor that has come in for all of us, but for those of us that are aware of their aging process. And I have a really bad word that I have, and I apologize for saying it, and I call it adulting up in our life. It's really like that the question is, what can I do? There is really not much I can do about the pandemic and what's going on. The only thing I can do is to allow my digestive system also digest this, because that's what it is. I mean, it was just like the statement I made about the last person. If it's that sensitive for me, I haven't been able to digest it. And is it hard? Yes, we can do a 6-week course on pandemic alone. The difficulties, the things that have changed, the sudden, the expediting of everything, the speed of everything has changed, and it's challenging. But then the question is, what do I do about it? Tom, we were built to go through these things. Believe me, this is part of life. I know we had very protected life, at least some of us in the Western world, but this is life. The natural disasters are not something new. It wasn't discovered and started happening in 2020. Read the history. There's been a lot of people before us that went through this, and somehow we're here. Obviously, human beings continued making babies, and here I am. So really magnifying it, and to some degree we have to in the beginning. So we go through the state of shock. It's very much like how we mourn things, because we were really mourning our normals when pandemic happened. The question is, how do I mourn? Did I mourn it or not? Okay, this is the reaction, and this is the honeymoon period that is like, it's wonderful, and everybody like calling and zooming like it was so wonderful. Then the reality and truth hit everybody. It's like, oh my God. And then we all try to find a way. Some people didn't go to that stage. How can I find a way? And that solution finding aspect of anything really, including aging, needs to be there in order for us to really make it in one piece emotionally. Otherwise, everything could be really talked about like that. I can tell you these are landmarks, negative landmarks of life. I could bring so many things up and tell you, oh, this happened, and then since then, I have not. But the question is, what do you do? The very same things that we use to explain why we are sensitive and why we are suffering could be said and used for the evidence of why we're stronger and how we made through it and how we really are rising above it. I was once invited to speak to a graduating class at UCLA. And then I thought they wanted me to talk about mindfulness. So I'm starting to talk about mindfulness. They said, no, tell us about your life. I said, okay. I said, which version do you want? They said, what? I said, I can tell you a version that you will all sob here and you can all cry, and I wouldn't even alter one fact of my life. You can all cry. Literally within 3 minutes, I can get you all crying. There is the version of it that I can motivate you and tell you, you can go through these things and still make. Which one do you want? Both of them true, 100%. And I think I said what I wanted to say. I was ready to leave after that, because that's exactly what I wanted to communicate with them. That you decide, you are the commander in chief in your life. What do you want to do with this landmark? Wasn't the easy one, was very difficult, took away a lot of things that we had, but also created a lot of opportunities. I closed my office after so many years, the physical office. It was my home. My landlord was crying when I told them that. He had tears in his eyes. I said, I got to let it go. Impermanence. Welcome to impermanence. I counted, I have moved 36 times in past 30 years. And what can I do? This is the longest I've ever been anywhere. And this is amazing for me. What am I saying? I'm saying we have to find a way. Eventually, after mourning, after learning, after screaming, after objecting, after being angry, those are all valid human reactions. But then we need to move forward. We need to find a way. And that's when we get stuck in the story of why we are feeling the way we are. About anything, really. I could tell you just one relationship can change somebody's life forever if they don't do, for worse, if they don't do anything about it. Same relationship can be what feeds their so-called success inwardly and outwardly. Which version do you want to go with? So I agree with you. It was hard in many, many, many ways. It still is. But the question is, what are you going to do with it? Every time I called my teacher, every time, and he would say, okay, what is the gift in it? And I thought, does he not understand what I'm saying? I'm just telling you, my best friend committed suicide. I remember that call. And he said, what are you going to do about it? What's the gift in it? I said, gift? What are you talking about, gift? You must be a monk that is out of touch with realities of life. But you know why? I found the gifts. I found the gifts. Very harsh gifts, but found the gifts. That's the idea. These are very difficult gifts. And we need to look for the gifts, not for the story of the blame. And this is a historical year. It's going to go down in history. Everybody is going to ask, where were you in 2020? What happened in 2020? What about 2020? I mean, our grandchildren probably will talk about, my grandparents in 2020, this is what happened. What do you want? What's the inheritance you want to give to the next generation, even if you don't have any children? Do you want them to go down and say, well, that was the end of the history and everybody was sad ever after that? Or do you want to say, that's what really showed that we can do without this, we can do without that, we can connect better, we can do this, we can do that. We can find a way. That's the statement that I'm hoping that we will leave with today. We can find a way, no matter what it is, even something as common as necessary as aging, that there's nothing we can do about it, but we can find a way of experiencing it in a different way that is somehow enhancing and enriching for us. Long answer to a short question, Tom. Thank you for your question. Hope this episode answered the question or two for you, or provoked and inspired questions in you. I'm so grateful you showed up and listened up. Until the next time, be well and stay curious.